Hello ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here coming at you with the second set for today. It's going to be Zero versus Pure in the OSL quarterfinals. Not Zero and Pure, Zero and Movie. Saying Zero and Pure because Pure was in the last game, and also in the round of 16, Zero and Pure were in the same group, so I was just looking at that and I was thinking Pure in my head. But yeah, Zero came out on top of that group against Pure. Actually, they went into a tiebreaker, Zero, Pure, and Yellow. They were all 2-1. Washington was 0-3 in their group, and Zero knocked off both of Pure and Yarnak, and Pure beat Yarnak, so both of them get to advance, and Yarnak gets left in the dust. Because Yarnak is mostly a one-trick pony these days at his ZVT, and even that's been kind of questionable with that loss to Turn, and I think he might have lost to Up Magic, or some other stuff, some other not-so great play from Yarnak. So Zero and Pure are advanced out of that group, and Zero's going to play CJ Entis's Movie. Zero has really been the only quality player on Moonjin Stars recently. Free was doing pretty well in round 1 of the Pro League, and that's why we saw Moonjin Stars go something like 5-6, something like that in the first round. They were doing pretty well, not awful. It was mostly just Zero and Free putting on a show, and then Zero would hopefully get into an ace match and win most of those. That's how most of their wins came in. But now the second round, it's really only Zero getting wins. I haven't looked at the rest of their roster, but I don't think anyone else even probably has more than 2 wins for this round so far in like 3 or 4 games. So not doing very well at all. But Zero is still playing totally ballerific, and he is a complete beast. And he's going to be taking on CJ's Movie, who also has really turned it up a notch this season in the Pro League and clearly in the Star Leagues as well. He may not be in both Star Leagues like Zero is, but he is doing very, very well. He is in the quarterfinals of the OSL, which is a legacy, well, I like to think of it as a legacy tournament, so you really need to be good for multiple years, or bad for multiple years to fall into or out of the OSL picture, which is why you see so many good matchups pretty early on. You usually start seeing really good matchups in the OSL starting in the round of 16. The round of 36 is usually pretty solid as well. Just because if you make it to the round of 16 the next season, you're automatically into the round of 36, and if you make it to the top 4, you're automatically into the round of 16. So you get there's a lot of legacy there. If you get to the top 4 one year, you have to have 2 consecutive bad showings before you really have to start from the ground up again. And in the MSL, I think it only takes 1 season for you to really fall into that trap. Not in that trap, but fall into that situation where you need where you kind of have to start from the ground up again. If you make it to the final, I don't remember, 8 or something, I think in the MSL, you get a group in your name, and then if you lose that group, then you're done. But other than that, I think that's about all you get in the MSL. And this looks like we're going to see another early pool in this game as well, in this ZVP. Zero going for the early spawning pool, looks like an overpool, and yeah, and Movie's going to scout this all out. He already has his piling up, going for that force fast expand, of course. Not going to see any one-base play. Just not going to see one-base play when you have top-notch players, and it's not something where you're willing to play around, like, say, the Pro League, where you're just willing to maybe try out random builds, maybe not taking it as seriously as you would take an individual Star League. So you'll sometimes see one-base play, but one-base play just is not as good overall as the Forge Fast Expand. That's why there's a reason that the Forge Fast Expand exists. It's just plain better. That's why everyone does it. And you do need, every now and then you'll see players switch it up, go for that one base play, go for that 2-gate rush or something like that, just to mix it up. But it's really not because you think that build is particularly better. Just that it needs a change up, and that's about it. So we see a couple cannons coming up here for Movie, playing it safe, not going to try to cheat on his cannons at all. Movie being very, very conservative with that early pool being put down. And that might have actually been a 9. Nah, it might have actually been a 9 pool. I was kind of looking at stats there, so it might have been a 9 pool, not an over pool. But it was early pool nonetheless. And we do have an expansion down from Zero as well. Zero needs to be careful, does not want to lose that drone, and that probe is going to do its best to try and kill that drone. Probably going to try and kill it through the mineral lines. Oh, he is going to kill it, isn't he? And maybe, oh wait, no, I think it moved away. Did it kill it? I can't tell. Yeah, it did. That stupid probe got to kill it. You could barely see the blood on the screen. Like, I have it maximized, and I can barely see the blood. It's like underneath the crystal is where the blood fell. And, yeah, unfortunately, Pure, Goofy, jeez, I keep calling him Pure. I need to stop calling him Pure. His name is Movie. And Movie taking advantage of the probe's range and shooting across that mineral line, which is just so awesome. And awesome for a Protoss player, and sucks for everyone else because that's really kind of cheap that you can just sit there behind a mineral line and shoot at someone's drones. Pretty funny, but Movie taking advantage there. And it looks like we might be seeing a third hatch there at the top right as well from Zero. Can't tell for sure. Might be seeing a standard 3 hatch, 5 hatch play from him, the Neo Sauron build. And Movie probably, yeah, there it is. And Movie's probably got something in store. We'll see if he goes very, very standard with this expansion, whether he goes straight into just a couple Corsairs and then tries to get High Templar out, or if we could see some Dark Archon play in here. We could see some Reaver play. Movie is a guy who will do just about anything. I saw a game of his on Heartbreak Ridge before, where he did everything from Corsair DT to Reaver drops to High Templar drops to everything, and he was really effective. He ended up losing the game, but it was pretty darn effective, and it was a very, very close game, and it was very, very entertaining to watch. Here comes Zero with the Zerglings coming to the natural expansion of Movie. Going to maybe go for a mini run by, but going to see the cannon or two and just going to be forced to run away. Maybe try and pick off the Zealot before he can get to the cannons, but not able to do so. That would have been a very nice play if he had been able to pick off that Zealot. That would have been very cool. But it was a very tricky position for him to try and do that. It would have been very difficult. And it looks like the Zealot's just going to try and harass some of these Zerglings. The Zerglings just playing little dancing games right now. And I can't see Movie actually getting any kills in here. Nor do I see Zero really able to kill off that Zealot either. I think it's just a little game that they're playing. Protoss Forge is not expanding. We see the second assimilator going down. So this is going to be some sort of a tech build coming out from Movie. Whether it's a Corsair DT or maybe some a double Stargate build. Could see some Reavers. Still a lot of choices for him, but it is going to be a tech build of some form. And Zero, both these players might be pretty well. No units have died, but there's a lot of damage really between these guys. And ooh, that Zergling almost dead, but Zero not wanting to lose it. We do see the 4th hatchery coming up here at the natural expansion. 5th hatchery should come up at the top right as well. The lair has been completed, so we'll see a spire any second now. There's the spawning pool, and there's the spire. Woot! So this is going to be very traditional 3-hatch spire into 5-hatch Hydra. Well, I guess it's kind of a 4-hatch spire into 5-hatch Hydra. But, yeah, it works out pretty much the same way. I can't see any really difference in between those two builds. Still that Forge not spinning, so still no +1 upgrade. So this is got to be some sort of a tech build. Probably Reavers would be my guess right now. Yeah, there's a Robo Bay. So we are going to see some Reavers. Just because with that +1, you really want the +1 both for your Zealots, and it also helps for your DTs as well. So, definitely like that +1 is definitely useful for both of those kinds of builds. And when you don't see that, that's one that kind of gives you an inkling that it could very well be a DT build or possibly a double Stargate or a Robo build or a double Stargate build, something along those lines is probably what you're going to be seeing. And we do have a lot of hatcheries up right now for Zero, and the 5th hatchery coming up at the top right. So we should be able to produce enough Zerglings and other units in order to contest with any sort of like a 3 Zealot push or anything from Movie. But it doesn't look like he's doing that because he hasn't even been able to clear away those initial 6 Zerglings. And it looks like Zero's probably going to lose that one Overlord. Maybe he might also be able to get some Scourge out in time to save it at the top right. This one inside of Movie's base, just no chance of survival. And Zero needs to run these Zerglings away, and he's going to be able to do so. And save as many of them as possible. He loses a couple, but not too bad. We see 5 hatcheries, but no Hydralis Den yet. There it is. So odd, actually, that he's not using that Hydralis Den at his natural expansion to kind of create that Sim City that we usually see out of Zerg players. Usually we see some very good Sim City that makes the +1 timing attacks, just make Zealot counters very, very difficult. Just produce those buildings, get some sunken colonies behind them, and then all you need is a few Zerglings and some Hydros to really block for those sunken colonies, and those Zealots just don't have the AI to really win here. And here come 4 Zealots marching into Zero's base. Gonna probably try and get some Zergling kills here, or some drone kills, but a ton of Zerglings spawn at once. Zero timed that out like pretty much beautifully, just coming out here with tons of Zerglings. But unfortunately, these Zealots look like they are going to get a couple kills. It looks like they got 1 maybe so far. They're going to try and get some more, but not going to be overall successful here. So actually, doing a very good job here, Zero, in this defense. He lost a bunch of Zerglings, only lost 1 or 2 drones though, and killing off 4 Zealots. So that's very good defense by him, not even needing the Sim City to take advantage of that defense. We got a couple cannons going up in the main as well to defend. We got a Reaver out, just in case there's any kind of initial push. Now, Movie's got to be careful with that Robo Base. He has it positioned nicely next to cannon, just does not allow that that initial shuttle to be taken down. And a dud Reaver scare up there, which is kind of odd considering there was only not really any units blocking or anything. Kind of a weird dud, but it does dud. And there's the shuttle is out, and that Reaver or that Corsair, one of the Corsairs does go down to Scourge, which is a problem because until you get that critical number of Corsairs, it's really tough to move out with Shuttle Reaver. It's very risky because the Scourge can simply wander on in and saunter all over the shuttle, and down goes the shuttle. And now we see some Scourge coming here trying to do exactly that, unable to do so. Some good micro from